Understanding your triggers and what they're really asking you. Hello, beautiful souls. It's Michelle Starr here with an Oracle Drop. Today, I just wanted to talk about something that comes up for every single one of us. And lately, it's been showing up a lot in the sessions that I've been doing, in the conversations that I've had, and even in the random things people say throughout the day, like messages. However, I wanted to emphasize on triggers. And that is, of course, triggers. So we throw that word around so casually now. That triggered me. This is triggering. He triggered me. She triggered me. And we never stop long enough to actually understand what a trigger is or why it's even happening. So today I want to take you a little bit deeper to get a clearer understanding of triggers. Not too much, but just enough for you to actually begin using your triggers as your teachers instead of treating them like enemies and being a negative. So, what is a trigger really? A trigger isn't the problem. A trigger is a signal, a moment, a rising sensation inside your body that says, pay attention. Something is happening in you. A trigger is not about the other person. It's not about their behavior. It's not about what they did or didn't do. The trigger is yours. It rises in your body. It lands in your nervous system. It activates your old story, your old feeling, your old wound. And that's why it feels so personal, because it is. The first step is awareness of this trigger. The very first step in healing is so simple, yet most people never do it. Just notice it and say to yourself, oh, I'm being triggered. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to react. You just have to acknowledge it. Because without awareness, you'll go into the old pattern and you'll start to react, or you'll start to shut down, or you'll start to walk away, sometimes run away. You'll start to attack, you'll start to defend and spiral. And then, of course, you can get anxiety from that. And then awareness just interrupts that cycle. So your next step is about, what am I feeling from this trigger? Once you say, I'm triggered, the next question is, what am I actually feeling right now from this trigger? Because we often think that the trigger is the feeling. It's not. The trigger creates the feeling. So you might think, for an example, you might think that you're triggered by trust. Yet underneath, I don't trust them, might be, I feel unsafe. I feel uncertain. I feel like I can't rely on myself. I feel out of control. I feel unprotected. I feel like my boundaries are being crossed. The trigger points to these deeper sensations, sensations that you've carried long before the moment actually happened. So, step 3 that you can do is, what is this about in me? So, this is the part most people avoid because it's uncomfortable, but it is the key. So, if you ask, what is this showing me about me? Not them, not the situation, not the story or even the history, just you. What is it showing you about you? Because if the trigger is rising in you, the trigger is for you. This is where transformation happens. Instead of you triggered me, you shift to, something in me is asking to be healed, strengthened, or understood. So, as a trigger example about trust. So let's use trust as the example because, this is something that quite a lot of people go through. So someone does something, you feel triggered. They might say something or do something. The story becomes, I can't trust them. Yet underneath that, it's not about them, it's about you. not trusting yourself. You don't trust your own intuition. You don't trust your own capacity to hold yourself. You don't trust your ability to respond without abandoning yourself. So the trigger isn't saying they are untrustworthy. It's saying, can you learn to trust you? Can you honor your own boundaries? Can you choose differently this time? Can you listen to yourself? Can you trust yourself? Because triggers are teachers, they're not punishments. Triggers don't come to hurt you, they come to show you where you are still carrying something unresolved within you, usually a wound. They come to highlight where you've grown, yet you haven't integrated it. They come to reveal the parts of you that are asking for more safety, more clarity, more trust, more grounding. So the question to ask in this moment is, when you feel triggered, ask, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What memory or belief is being activated? What part of me is asking for attention? What is this moment trying to teach me? And when you ask those questions, you move out of reaction and into reflection. And reflection is where healing happens. So in my closing message to you, next time a trigger rises, instead of spiraling or shutting down or blaming someone else, I want you to pause and say, this is a message for me. This is my body showing me something important. This is a moment of awareness, not a moment of collapse. Triggers aren't signs that something is wrong with you. Triggers are signs that something is waking up. So if you're ready to go deeper into understanding your inner world, breaking patterns, and learning how to read your triggers properly, you can message me anytime through Messenger. And this is the work that I love. This is the work that lights me up. And I'm here when you're ready.